In the last video, we went over how to set up the hardware for Steve here to be able to make it so that he can then be programmed to move forward, back, left, and right. In this video, we'll get into that programming to figure out how we can very, very easily get him set up in the Arduino environment to make it so it is fully controllable by us. Let's get into it. So, the first thing I'm going to do is save my code. I'm going to call him Steve. Boop. And then the next thing I have to do is make sure that I have the right Arduino setup. At the moment, I have an Arduino Uno. So I'm going to go to Board under the Tools menu and look for Arduino Uno. Boop. Now, I select the port. It will almost always tell you where the Arduino is connected to. That's just saying what USB plug on your computer that the Arduino is plugged into. So that, and that's it. Hit upload. And you'll see down here, compiling the sketch. So that's turning into machine writable code. Oops, we already have our first error. This is saying that PWMA was not declared. So let's see. There's PWMA and all the other ones. For some reason, it's not seeing it here. The reason why is because we declared it inside the setup function. So inside these two brackets for setup, which means that the program can only see all of these variables that we set up inside setup. In order to fix that, we have to put these variables outside of any function so that the loop function can also see them. So all I'm going to do is make some space above setup, click on these guys, and drag them up here. This is just how you tell the code that you want all of this information to be available to all of the functions within Arduino, within our code. So let's try it again. Upload. Haha, the next error that we have. So let's work through this error. PWMA does not have a type. Okay. So what a type is, and what this error is telling me, is that PWMA is a lovely variable. It equals 5. That's great. But it doesn't know if that 5 should be a text number 5 or if it should be the actual numeral 5. It doesn't know. We have to tell it. So how we do that is by telling it it is, in this case, an integer, which is any whole number. So we'll want to do that for all of these, because these are all holding integers. Try that again. Now it's uploading. So now that we have Steve set up, we can go and test our code. I'm going to go and click the upload button, and you should see Steve flash a little bit as soon as it starts uploading, just like that. And just like that, he does absolutely nothing. Okay, so let's try and figure this out. A common issue that we have is sometimes I linked PWMA to the wrong pins. So PWMA might be 6 instead of 5. So let's go find that out. There are two ways that we can switch this. One is by switching out the cables right here, and the other way is by doing it programmatically. I want to do it programmatically, but I'm going to trace the wire just in case to see where it is. So yep, in this case, it looks like pin 6 is PWMA. So I'm going to change that to 6. I'm going to change that to 5, and then hit upload. Ooh, and he's moving. Cool. And he's moving backwards. So unfortunately, there's no way to stop this program once it's going without putting in some commands to do so. So what we're going to do is, let's see if we can make that motor move forward now instead. So we have this going to high and this going to low. If I want to change the polarity, all I'd have to do is change this to low and this to high. Hit upload. And that should make him start spinning to the left there. Whoop, and there he goes. If I change his speed to 250, give him a second to want to stop and go again. There he goes. Now he goes way faster. Now let's do the exact same thing for the other motor. I'm going to unplug the USB cable so that this guy stops for a minute. Put him right there. And now we're going to go into our code, and all I'm going to do, super simple, copy and paste. We'll change this to B, and then we'll change, instead of A in 1, it'll be B in 1. Instead of A in 2, it'll be B in 2. Instead of PWM A, it'll PWM B. And that's all we have to do to make the other code work. That's all we have to do to make the other motor work. Let's try it. Hit build. Make sure you plug the cable back in, otherwise you will end up with this error. It says could not open the device, which means it had no idea where Arduino was. So as soon as I plug it in, whoop. Give him a second. Ah, you tricked me. So let's hit the upload button again. Whoop! Now he definitely runs forward. Robot move forward. Cool. So, if we know that that makes the robot move forward, let's try making him move backwards. So, very easily, I could just copy all this code, paste it down here. Now we'll just say backward and change these polarities. Because right now, this and this polarity is making him move forward. So, if I just change this to high and low, then change this to reverse these. Let's plug the robot back in. Hold on, I'm gonna get a little bit sneaky here. So now, we can have it so that the robot moves forward and backwards. Now, if I ran this code, it would run it forward, backwards about 100 to 1,000 times a second, depending on what's going on, somewhere in between there. So that's not great, because then it would basically look like it's standing still, right? This code would run, and then no time would pass, and then this code would run, and it would happen really, really fast. So I have to put a pause in between these two. So how we put a pause in our code is we type in delay. And this is in milliseconds, so 1,000ths of a second. So 500 would be half a second. Let's give it a good 3 seconds. And then I'll write delay all the way at the end of the backward statement. So this okay, 2, 3. Now he's going backwards. So we have successfully made him go forward and back. Now this is where you come in. This is where you make it so that he can move forward, back, left, and right. You should be able to do it with this code. It's just a matter of changing the polarity of each one of these motors. If you want him to move left, make one motor move forward and the other one move backwards. If you want to move right, then the opposite is true. One motor moves forward, the other one moves backwards. But the A and B, you know what I'm talking about. So this is where you can start getting creative with your robot. With just these small little commands, you can make it so it can go forward, backward, left, and right, and you can tell it to go that long for a certain amount of time, right? So you can start having some interesting fun with problems like mazes. Can you build your robot and program it such that it can follow a predetermined path or maze and get from one end to the other, or obstacle avoidance of an obstacle that is at a known path further away? And this is actually how a lot of industrial robots work. This is how, especially older school welding robots for cars, everything, they would have very pinpoint precise places that they would have to go to, and they just ran the same program over and over and over again to be able to make it so that the robot could seamlessly do its job perfectly every single time. Even in animatronics, those old Chuck E. Cheese kind of animatronic rats that were playing the banjo, those things were just using this technique to be able to do the same repeated motion over and over and over again using simple commands just like this. So you'd be surprised what you can make out of this. I would challenge you and challenge your kids to be able to make a cool idea of what you could build just using this technique, and then actually go out and build it. Grab some cardboard, grab some motors, grab an Arduino, and actually build it. Look out for next time when we start adding a little bit more sensor input so that we can figure out not only how to move in a calculated way, but also how to actively avoid obstacles and other such things that get in our way. So look forward to the next video, and we'll see you then. Again, like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed this content, and leave a comment giving us any suggestions that you have for future videos that you would like to see, or anything that you weren't quite clear on in this video, and then we can get back and try and help you out. These videos are here to help you out. Thank you, and have a great night.